Tonight on KVR News, superheroes in Austin. Why our comic favorites are uniting for a cause.
A UT professor taking his talents from the classroom to a comedy stage.
And a recap of the Longhorns game against the Wildcats.
Austin's leader for live, local UT coverage starts right now.
Broadcasting live from the Texas Student Television Studios at the University of Texas. You're watching KVR News at 9, Austin's leader for live local UT coverage. Your news starts right now.
Good evening. You're watching KVR News for Monday, September 23rd. I'm Chelsey Peña.
And I'm Cathryn Walker. Thank you for joining us tonight.
A crime alert for East Austin as police say suspects committed 4 robberies early Sunday morning. 3 or 4 young Hispanic men targeted people at different locations between 1 and 3 a.m.
The suspects reportedly struck again Sunday evening on East 10th Street. Police say the suspects wore Jason-style hockey masks during the early morning robberies.
A cell phone and wallet were reported stolen. One suspect reportedly had a gun, but no one was injured during any of the robberies.
An Austin police officer has been suspended from duty for kicking a person he was trying to arrest. Officer Brian Yarger intentionally kicked and handcuffed a prisoner while getting the subject in the back of his car in March. Yarger's suspension started today and will last only 5 days. APD Chief Art Acevedo based his decision on the suspension of the Texas Local Government Code, which defines the appropriate officer procedures during an arrest. Austin is taking a stand against texting and driving, becoming the latest Texas city to join the It Can Wait campaign. Mayor Lee Leffingwell joined the Mayors United Against Texting While Driving campaign to help push forward the social media movement. The campaign is based off the message that when it comes to texting and driving, it can wait. More than 100,000 crashes each year are due to texting behind the wheel, according to the National Safety Council. To join the pledge against texting while driving, you can text ICW Austin to 464-329.
One easy way to prevent texting while driving is, of course, to use public transportation, and catching the bus downtown won't be the same for long. Bus-only lanes are coming to Austin, concentrated along Guadalupe and Lavaca streets. The city hopes the new service will relieve congestion and improve public transportation. All bus stops on Congress Avenue will be removed, and the new lanes will be priority transit all day, every day. Service will begin testing in November, and the city hopes it will be fully ready as early as January. And a quick transportation notice for you. If you use the e-bus between the university area and downtown Austin, the drop-off locations have changed. The West Campus and Main Campus buses now pick up and drop off at 7th and Natchez. The Riverside bus stops now stop at 6th and Brazos. If you're traveling to and from the PCL at night, you'll soon have a new safe way to get home. U Ride 24/5 is a new program that shuttles UT students between the library and residences in Riverside, Far West, and Lake Austin neighborhoods.
The program is funded by PTS and allows people to use a mobile app to request a ride, similar to a cab. Co-founder Cornell Rady says the idea is to offer students peace of mind that they can get home safely.
I think that this is a program that has great potential. A lot of other universities have this program, and that it's finally coming to UT is a big success for the university, for student government, for PTS, and for everyone involved here.
The program is expected to start early next month. A similar program, Safe Ride, is also in the works. That program would transport students from downtown to their homes. Rady hopes Safe Ride will be up and running in the spring.
Flu season is right around the corner, and University Health Services is offering its annual flu clinic to students and faculty. The flu shot campaign starts tomorrow and will continue until October 17th. UHS asks that you bring a UT ID and insurance cards. Uninsured students can pay with cash or check or have the bill posted to their What I Owe page. About 15% of students face a negative academic outcome as a result of getting the flu. So UHS Outreach Coordinator Sherry Bell says it's important to get vaccinated.
The flu does affect folks academically. It can knock you out of classes and work and fun things for a week or more.
For more information on dates and clinic locations, you can visit healthyhorns.utexas.edu. And today marks the beginning of Suicide Prevention Week on the UT campus. The awareness campaign is put on every year by the Counseling and Mental Health Center and focuses on raising awareness about suicide by engaging students, faculty, and staff. Events throughout the week include guest speakers, presentations, a suicide prevention workshop, and wearing colored bands for suicide victims.
So the goals of Suicide Prevention Week are to raise awareness about mental health and suicide prevention, to serve as a call to action for the entire university to get involved in this issue, and to raise awareness and provide students, faculty, and staff the tools that they can use if they suspect that a student might be having thoughts of suicide.
For more information about the week's events, you can check out the CMHC's website.
All hostages are thought to have been evacuated after gunmen seized a shopping mall in Nairobi, Kenya. Kenyan special forces say the three-day siege at the Westgate shopping mall came to an end today. The gunmen killed at least 69 people and injured more than 200. They're believed to be members of the Somali militant group Al-Shabaab, which reportedly has ties to Al-Qaeda. The National Kenya Police tweeted, "We are in charge of the Westgate situation, and more updates will be coming your way. #WeAreOne."
Trader Joe's has finally made its way to Austin. The California-based grocery chain opened its first of 3 Austin stores this past Friday. It's located on Bee Caves Road in Rollingwood, not far from downtown. The chain plans to open 2 more locations next year, one in the Sea Home development downtown and another in the Arboretum. The new store is Trader Joe's 400th location nationwide.
Can you hear me now? How cell reception on campus could soon be improving.
And superheroes take to the streets of Austin. United Cause next.
You're watching KVR News at 9. Your campus, your news.
Welcome back to KVR News. Superheroes were united for the Casa Superhero Run on Saturday. Superman, Captain America, Wonder Woman, and hundreds dressed up as superhumans were at the event, cheering on runners for the kids' 1K race and 5K race to help fight against child abuse. CASA is a nonprofit that believes every child who has been abused or neglected deserves a dedicated advocate to speak up in their best interest. The idea behind the run is that while every child needs a hero, abused children need a superhero.
It's a wonderful organization that takes everyday people who decide that when times are tough, they can help, and that's what makes them into heroes.
Superman was adopted. Batman was raised by the butler. Spider-Man was raised by his aunt and uncle. They didn't grow up in traditional families. They became superheroes. So we want every child, no matter what their circumstances growing up, to be able to become a superhero adult someday. We're trying to give them a chance at that successful future.
CASA hoped to raise $50,000. They've already passed that goal.
Well, Austin is in the middle of the annual Fantastic Fest. The film festival is put on each year by the Alamo Drafthouse, and founder Tim League told us what makes this year so special.
I like to recommend to people that they trust us with our programming, that they go in to see things that they've never heard of before because it sounds cool on the page. And I can almost guarantee you, if it sounds cool on the page, it's going to be cool in front of your eyeballs. So if you like these type of movies, if you like action, horror, science fiction, fantasy, and just weird movies.
Fantastic Fest continues until Thursday. For continued coverage, you can tune in to Good Morning Texas Wednesday morning at 7, right here on Texas Student Television. This week, Austin will host the Capital City Black Film Festival for the first time. The festival will screen 2 days of independent films expressing the African American experience and includes 3 days of networking, panel discussions, and film screenings. The festival will take place downtown at the Stateside at the Paramount.
A UT professor is taking his act to the comedy stage. Journalism professor Robert Quigley is joining a group of stand-up comedians at the Dilla Dirt Comedy Jam this Saturday. Quigley is performing for the first time, taking his own advice that he gives to his students. Do something you've always wanted to try.
I've always thought it would be fun to do an open mic night, but when this opportunity came up, I was just, okay, sure. And I'm like, I have less than 2 weeks to go and I got to do this. So.
Blackboard will soon be a thing of the past. UT is phasing out of the online course interface in favor of Canvas. The university plans to transition to the new system by August 2015. Canvas is currently being used by more than 500 courses. The system has an 80% approval rating among UT faculty and a 66% rating among students. Canvas is estimated to cost $635,000. That's about $65,000 lower than current Blackboard expenses. Students may soon experience fewer problems with cell reception on the 40 acres. A campus-distributed antenna system is working to improve reception quality, especially at football games. The system is the result of a partnership between ITS and wireless networks AT&T, Verizon, and Sprint. Last month, AT&T added additional 3G coverage. The impact of the additional coverage is unknown, but the antenna system was tested before Saturday's game and signals improved.
Well, Apple released its long-anticipated iPhone 5S and 5C this past week. It was the first time Apple released two models at one time. The weekend was record-breaking for the company, which sold 9 million new phones, almost doubling last year's 5 million iPhone 5 sales.
Apple also introduced iOS 7, a new operating system update that is now operating on more than 200 million devices. That makes it the fastest software upgrade in the company's history.
Well, opinions on the iOS 7 have certainly been mixed online. KVR talked to UT students about their opinions and whether or not they downloaded the upgrade.
I like the way that the iOS 7 looks. I like the feel of it. And even though people think it looks like childish, I like it. It's a lot more fun.
I like the software. I like how clean it looks and the colors, but personally it looks really like an Android setup.
I'm liking it. It's a little too bubbly. It looks a little too droidish for me. It's not very professional, and I like something more sleek and kind of refined.
I really like it. I think it's a whole different thing. It was hard to adjust to at first, but I definitely think it's cool and it'll be the new thing. I mean, everyone kind of had to do it for sure at some point.
I like the update a lot. I think it's a lot cleaner looking and it's kind of fun for the change, but I know a lot of people who don't, like my mom doesn't like it because she got used to the other way and she's kind of
UT's international office hosted its friendship program kickoff at the Union on Sunday. The program matches local Austin residents with international students and promotes cultural exchanges through activities throughout the year. Nearly 1 million international students come to the U.S. every year. About 80% of them never step foot onto a U.S. household. The friendship program aims to welcome the students to the Austin community.
I'm from China, and I just meet my match. She is so nice, and I think this is a very good program to connect people and meet new friends.
When my husband and I have traveled overseas too, people have been so kind and generous with their things and time that we want to do that for somebody else too here who's new to Texas.
It's been almost a year since Big Tex went up in flames. A new fireproof Big Tex will be unveiled this Friday, the opening day of the State Fair of Texas. The 55-foot-tall cowboy will have the same basic structure, and officials say the new structure will be much like the old. Donors contributed more than $95,000 to help rebuild the Texas icon. The total estimated cost of the rebuild was $500,000.
For Jared Hall, winning one game of Jeopardy wasn't enough. The 2013 UT graduate went on to a 6-episode winning streak before losing Friday's round, collecting a total of $181,001. Hall hopes to make an appearance on the Jeopardy Tournament of Champions sometime next year. He says he plans to use his winnings to pay off student loans, travel, and donate to charity.
Record rainfall in Austin this past weekend, how the rains affected local lake levels.
And is there more rain on the way? Taylor Villarreal has your forecast after the break.
Have a news tip or story idea? Call the KVR News Tip Line, 475-8181.
The Austin area saw record rainfall on Friday with several inches received throughout central Texas. Camp Mabry picked up 2.92 inches, breaking the 38-year-old record by half an inch.
While Austin received good rainfall, more fell out in the hill country. By Sunday, Lake Travis was more than a foot higher and Lake Buchanan had risen a little more than an inch. The levels are expected to rise over the next few days as streams and creeks continue to flow into the lakes.
Well, we're now officially into fall, and the weather has felt a lot more like it lately. Taylor Villarreal joins us now in the Weather Center. Can we expect the cooler weather to stick around?
Cathryn, unfortunately, temperatures are going to be climbing back up over the next few days. While we did really need the rain, walking to class in it wasn't so great. For those of you who got caught up in it on Friday, don't worry. There's no expected chance for rain until at least Saturday. The rest of this week, we can expect clear, mostly sunny skies. Temperatures tomorrow and Wednesday could reach the mid-90s with overnight lows in the mid-60s. There will be lots of sunshine continuing into the later half of the work week. A cold front making its way towards central Texas will arrive by Friday, keeping temperatures in the upper 80s and low 90s. Clouds will roll in for the weekend, and the front brings us the chance of showers and thunderstorms. We've got about a 20% chance on Saturday, increasing to 30% by Sunday. So the cooler temperatures over the past few days have been a nice preview of what we can expect in the fall. But as for now, it looks like it's back to checking the class in the heat. Live in the Weather Center, Taylor Villarreal, KVR News.
Thanks, Taylor, and we're looking forward to that rain this weekend. After the break, a recap of Saturday's game against Kansas State.
Stay tuned. You're watching.
Now, KVR News at 9 Sports.
Welcome back to KVR News. We're joined by College Press Box's Joshua Blount to talk some Longhorn football.
That's right, Cathryn. Let's head out to DKR for a look back at Saturday's game against the Kansas State Wildcats. And into the last 3 games, and David Ash was ready to get it started. We'll pick it up in the first quarter. Texas up 3-0. Ash would drop back and hit Kendall Sanders for the bomb, 63 yards. This would put Texas up 10-0. Texas would then come back on defense, and Kansas State would have the ball, and Malcolm Brown would get the sack of a loss for 2 yards. Great play by Malcolm Brown would force Kansas State to punt the ball. Texas will get the ball back at 2nd and 4 on the Kansas State 21, and Jonathan Gray goes 21 yards, weaving through those defenders for a touchdown. Texas will go up 17-0. Kansas State gets the ball back, looking to respond to the Gray touchdown after a little celebration there. And Jordan Hicks, however, has something to say about it. Hits John Hubert in the backfield, loss of 2 yards. However, Kansas State would come back. Jake Waters drops back and goes deep for a 47-yard touchdown pass. This would set up Kansas State later on in the red zone. Kansas State get the ball. John Hubert rushes 15 yards for a touchdown. However, Texas would still lead 17-7. And Cathryn, look who was at the game on the sideline. Vince Young, the former national championship winning quarterback, here to root on the Longhorns. Second half, Kansas State has the ball. John Hubert, however, fumbles the ball and is covered by the tank, Desmond Jackson. Texas ball, it's 4th and 2nd. On the fake punt, Alec De La Torre rushes for a gain of 19 yards. Texas picks up the first down to continue the drive. 1st and 10 of the Kansas State 15. Jonathan Gray rushes 15 yards for the score. Great day by Gray. Texas would lead 24-7. Texas has the ball back again. Malcolm Brown rushed for another 8 yards. Texas keeps pounding on the points, leading 34-14. However, Kansas State would try to make a comeback. Jake Waters sneaks for the 1-yard touchdown. It's cutting the score 31-21. However, one of the last plays of the game, the fumble by Jake Waters recovered by Delton Sandos. And Texas is partying. Jenkins is doing a dance as Texas gets the win, 31-21 to start Big 12 play out.
So Joshua, what do the Horns need to focus on during the bye week?
Well, I think firstly the Horns need to rest. I mean, they have a lot of injuries to David Ash, Dajae Johnson, Mike Davis, and so they just need to rest and try to get some of those players back for next week's game against Iowa State. But they also need to focus on the pass. They gave up over 200 yards to one receiver on Kansas State, which is not good, especially when you play the pass-heavy Big 12. So rest up and shore up the defense, and I think the Longhorns will be good to go.
Thank you, Joshua. All right, up next, we look back at last night's Emmy Awards. Stay tuned for more KVR News.
You're watching KVR News at 9. Your campus, your news.
Welcome back to KVR News. Sandy Marin joins us now with a recap of last night's Emmy Awards.
Thanks, Chelsey. Well, last night's Emmy were nothing if not unpredictable. The hashtag Weird Emmys quickly took over Twitter as people expressed their confusion of the ceremony's awards. From the very beginning of the telecast, it was clear that this year's Emmys were going to be different. In an ode to his House of Cards character, Kevin Spacey repeated a gag all night that involved him talking directly into and swatting the camera out of his face. And in an effort to keep things light, winners were giving so little time for their acceptance speeches that Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series winner Merritt Wever simply said, "Thank you so much, I gotta go, bye." Tony Hale took home the next statue for his supporting role in the HBO comedy Veep. He later came out when his Veep co-star Julia Louis-Dreyfus won Best Actress, and the two accepted their award in character. And while Dreyfus's win was predicted, not everyone was so lucky. One of the first upsets of the night, The Voice's win over The Amazing Race for Best Reality Competition Program. This is only the second time The Amazing Race hasn't won the award since its inception. Later, The Colbert Report beat out The Daily Show for Best Variety Program. This is the first time in its 10 years that The Daily Show has gone home empty-handed. Perhaps the biggest upset of the night, though, was Jeff Daniels' win for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Drama for The Newsroom. He beat out Emmy favorites Bryan Cranston, Jon Hamm, and Kevin Spacey. Modern Family took Outstanding Comedy for the 4th time, and Breaking Bad won Drama for the first time of its acclaimed show. Overall, this year's Emmys were definitely eventful and will most likely give people something to vent about for the week. And despite who you think should have won, one thing is for sure: we'll always have the hashtag Weird Emmys.
Thank you, Sandy, and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Cathryn Walker.
And I'm Chelsey Peña. For weather updates throughout the week, you can follow us on Twitter @KVR News. Stay tuned for College Press Box up next on Texas Student Television. Have a good night.